Australia at the Melbourne cricket ground is causing quite a stir on social media. The dismissal proved to be the final nail in the coffin as Australia registered an 184-run win. In fact, Rohit Sharma also spoke about the controversial call made by the third umpire, saying such decisions always seem to go against the Indian camp, the Indian team. This comes as Yashasvi Jaiswal's controversial and dramatic dismal on the day 5 of the Boxing Day test between India and Australia at the Melbourne cricket ground is causing a stir on social media. The dismissal proved to be the final nail in the coffin as Australia registered an 184-run win. Rohit Sharma also spoke about the controversial call made by the third umpire, saying such decisions always seem to go against the Indian camp. In fact, the controversy has costed Team India, which has now come off the WTC championship. We're also being joined by my colleague Rakshita from the newsroom and a guest who is a former Indian cricketer, Deep Das Gupta. This comes after the controversy surrounding Yashasvi Jaiswal, where he was first given a not out, and then the Aussies appealed, and after that, even though the Snicko meter showed no ECG reading, Jaiswal was declared to be out. Rakshita.
Absolutely, of course. Mr. Deep Gupta, I'll just go straight across to you. Well, we just heard Rohit Sharma also. He was expressing disappointment and also said that we've been at the wrong side of the, such decisions since quite a long time. BGT has been, of course, plagued with such controversies time and again. But what do you think about this particular, this decision? The, experts are divided on this. I would like to know your thoughts on this, sir.
First of all, I'd say, listen, technology does not just mean Snicko. Technology means a whole gambit of tools which are available to the third umpire. But there, like Rohit mentioned, and I was there, I was on air when this situation happened, and there seems to be a deflection. There's no two ways about it. What was the deflection of is obviously something that is very, very debatable. But obviously the Snickometer, which is one of the tools available to the umpire, along with the others. So at times what happens is as soon as we talk about technology, we're only thinking either the ball path or the Snicko. There's more to it. So the umpire, nowhere in the rule book or the protocols does it mention the Snickometer is sacrosanct. It's not the case. So one is that. Secondly, what I do agree with is there has to be a proper protocol in terms of spelling out the process. As of now, it's very subjective. So very easily, another third umpire could have gone with the Snickometer, could have shown more faith on the Snickometer and would have suggested, you know what, there is no movement on the Snickometer, so I'm not going to give it out. So as far as I'm concerned, I think the protocols needs to be in place in terms of the processes. You can have, a laid out process for every third umpire and make it a little more objective, which is not. It's open to interpretation of the third umpire, how he wants to use the technology, how he sees technology. I think that subjectivity needs to be reduced.
Exactly. That's what even Mr. Rajiv Shukla has also pointed out, saying that, the technology, of course, was showing that there was no nick as such. And the third umpire should have taken note of what technology was exactly suggesting. There should be solid reasons, if at all, he decides to, ignore what the third, to overrule the field umpire as well. What do you have to say on that, sir?
Well, fair enough. I guess the technical word is conclusive evidence. Again, that makes it very, very subjective as far as the third umpire. So the third umpire saw the deflection. So he had access to some other tools, tech tools like the slow-mo, the zoom and everything else. And as we are seeing the path as well, as you can see, the path also shows a bit of deflection when it passes the bat / the gloves of Yashasvi. So there were other tools which were used by the third umpire, and in the third umpire's mind, which is the most important point here, he thought there was an edge, and so that's my point. It's a very subjective thing. You can compare this with what happened against KL Rahul in the first Test match at Perth. The bat wasn't near, and it was quite visible that the ball had not hit the bat, but there was a spike. And that in that case, the third umpire went with the spike and not what was visible to him through slow motions and other things. So that's why I'm saying. So either this was wrong, or that KL Rahul's decision in the Perth test, that was wrong. So somebody got it wrong. So that's what I'm saying. So if you reduce the subjectivity involved with the third umpire and reading an interpretation of the third umpire of the tech, I think would be a better idea.
Right. Thanks so much, Mr. Deep Dagusta, for joining us with those details. So there you have, viewers, Mr. Deep Dagusta, who's the former Indian cricketer and also commentator, who was in fact closely following this there. And Gesu, of course, it's another controversy during the Border Gavaskar Trophy that India, of course, is right now debating on. But having said that, the Aussies have taken an unassailable lead in this edition of the Border Gavaskar Trophy, much to the dismay of the Indian cricket fans.
And there's breaking news coming in. Yashasvi Jaiswal's controversial and dramatic dismissal on day 5 of the Boxing Day test between India and Australia at the Melbourne cricket ground is causing a stir on social media. Viewers, the breaking news that's coming in now, BCCI says the third umpire on BCCI statement is now out on Yashasvi Jaiswal's MCG dismissal. They say the third umpire should have taken note of Snicko. The dismissal proved to be the final nail in the coffin as Australia registered an 184-run win. Rohit Sharma spoke about the controversial call that was made by the third umpire. Listen in.
विवादास्पद निर्णय जिसको लेकर गावस्कर ने भी बोला है और लोगों ने बोला है कि जो उसका यशस्वी जायसवाल का था वो आउट नहीं था। मैं भी मैच देख रहा था तो मैंने उसमें जो स्नोको मीटर है उसमें तो क्लियर था कि टच नहीं किया, लेकिन वो थर्ड अंपायर का फैसला था। तो ठीक है, अब जो मैच का परिणाम आया। अब आगे हम सिडनी टेस्ट की तैयारी कर रहे हैं। लेकिन मेरी एक बात कहनी है, हमारा पर्सनल व्यू ये है कि इस मामले में टेक्निकल कमेटी को आईसीसी को देखना चाहिए कि या तो टेक्नोलॉजी के हिसाब से जाए या जो इंडिविजुअल की ओपिनियन है थर्ड अंपायर की उस हिसाब से जाए। एक कोई चीज तो होनी चाहिए, क्योंकि एक फैसले में आप स्नोको मीटर के हिसाब से गए और दूसरे फैसलों में आपने उसको नहीं माना। तो ये जो है आईसीसी की टेक्निकल कमेटी को ये डिसाइड देखना चाहिए कि कुछ ना कुछ इसका रास्ता निकालना चाहिए।
Let me go across to Rakshita. Rakshita, you've been speaking to cricketers since morning, trying to get in a sense of what really happened at the Melbourne cricket ground. Give us details as the opinion remains divided. BCCI is extremely clear on the statement that there should have been a look at other aspects by the third umpire.
Well, absolutely. Of course, the important word will be what conclusive evidence does the umpire have. But the problem lies in the rules, in the laws of the game, which still need a lot of reforms. And we've seen such controversies occurring time and again in big tournaments, in across formats, especially when it comes to a test match. And when it comes to a test match down under a series like BGT, it will always be very highly competitive, and it takes a lot for any cricketer to, in fact, contribute in such challenging situation. Yashasvi Jaiswal was making a valiant effort while the Indian batters were crumbling down. All the top batters like Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli failed to deliver at a time when India was trying, tooth and nail to save the test match. Yashasvi Jaiswal, if he would have not been dismissed, there were chances that India could have saved this test match. But having said that, the dismissal is something that even Rohit Sharma says was clearly something that he did touch. When he says he did touch he means that he did touch the ball with that bat, even though the Snicko meter did not catch that. And technology is something that cannot be, credible all the time. It's not always 100%. Neither the Hawkeye that is used for several other decisions for the dismissals. So likewise, it's up to the umpire. And now Rajiv Shukla of the BCCI, the Vice President, is saying that there should be solid grounds if at all you overrule and the way you use technology. Even Rohit Sharma has said that, how do you use technology, how you decide whether to ignore what technology is saying, if there is any inconclusive decision or not. You could have, given the benefit of doubt as well, but that did not happen. The Bangladeshi umpire was booed by the Indian fans, and also there were chants of cheater that were echoing all across the MCG. Of course, a lot of disappointment amongst the Indian fans. But if you see many of the experts, even the retired umpire like Simon Toffel is saying that it was clearly out. But Indian stalwarts like Sunil Gavaskar also slamming the umpire on ground and calling out the duplicity. Rohit Sharma, if you see in that press conference, also says that it is a pattern that India often falls on the wrong side of such decisions when it comes to such confusing decisions or inconclusive evidence situation.
Rakshita, it's clear that the third umpire's decision has sparked a row. What can India actually do to ensure that this could be relooked at? Is there any option available for Team India?
No, not really. That's what the problem is. Even if we talk about the rules and the subjectivity, of course, is something that becomes questionable, and henceforth many of these umpires get criticized for the same. And right now, of course, there is no such way. If you see, and the host country is Australia. If these things are raised by the representatives of the the board, suppose the BCCI to the ICC, then there will be, of course, a change in the rules. But it is a long drawn process. But right now, there's nothing that can be really practically that can be done to change or overturn any kind of decision. The match is over now, and India, of course, has lost that very important test match, which India could have in fact saved if at all things wouldn't have panned out in India's favor. And this, of course, is something that is on the basis of evidence, and mostly what we see is that if the third umpire is not showing any any nick, any sort of edge, then mostly the umpire will go with the decision of what is being shown.
Yes.
Here it is something that is that's something we do not see often, and the umpire ignored what the Snicko meter showed and went with the original, that is the deflection that was visible with the naked eye.
All right. Thank you, Rakshita, for giving us those details. It's something that India should surely take up on a world arena, but that's something we're going to leave and see what can further happen.
On to the big controversy from the cricketing world today. Yashasvi Jaiswal's controversial and dramatic dismissal on day 5 of the Boxing Day test between India and Australia at the MCG is now causing quite a stir. And of course, there is a divided opinion across the cricketing fraternity, across the cricket fans, and the dismissal has proved to be the final nail in the coffin, so to speak, as Australia registered an 184-run victory. Rohit Sharma spoke about the controversial call made by the third umpire and suggesting that such decisions always seem to go against the Indian camp, that India tends to fall on the wrong side of such situations and such decisions. In fact, the BCCI, viewers, has also slammed the umpire on this. Take a listen in first to what Rajiv Shukla of the BCCI had to say. In fact, viewers, before we get to the reactions, we have Yashasvi Jaiswal's coach, Mr. Jwala Singh himself, on the broadcast. Thank you so much, sir. How do you react to this divided opinions that are coming in? Most of, we, of course, here in India, there's a lot of support and a lot of criticism for the decision made by the on-field umpire, so much so that even Rohit Sharma says that one does not know how technology is being used, how umpires decide to use technology.
Well, actually, I was there in the stadium that time. I was watching the game in Melbourne. I'm in Australia now. And I think when the ground umpire is given not out, it goes to the DRS. And then after that, the technology played the role of getting batsmen out or not out, where clearly there was the lack of evidence like that he was out or not out. So I think the benefit of doubt should be always given to the batter, because the third umpire decision is totally based on the technology, not based off the human eyes. So I think where there was no proof evidence, because there was no Snicko meter there. So I think he should not be given out. And I think because of that decision, the game's tempo has changed. He was playing really well, and he was almost very close to the century. And I think from there, the things turned and we lost the game. So I think this was a very crucial and controversial decision from the umpire. And if you have technology, you should take advantage of it. If not, then you should not make any kind of decision basis on, the protection. That's what I can say right now.
So you feel that the umpire should have gone with what the Snicko meter was showing?
Yeah, of course. I mean, if you're using the technology and you doesn't have the foolproof technology, you should always give the benefit of doubt to the batter. So I think the clear clear voice from my side is like he should not be given out, though he was out or not out. That is a different part. Whether ball hit the gloves or not, that's a different part. But there was no full evidence, and I think that he should not be given out.
You feel, do you agree with Rohit Sharma? In fact, he did somewhat try to, douse the fire. He says, to be fair, that he did touch the ball. So he clearly said that the captain himself is saying that he did touch the ball, even if the Snicko did not show anything. At the same time, he says that India tends to fall on the wrong side of such decisions.
I think that is Rohit's opinion. We all respect that. But my take is, if there is a doubt, because the third umpire cannot decide whether what happened on the ground, because he's not present in the ground. So I think if there is a doubt, as I said, so the main umpire's decision should be considered. That's what I can say right now.
And do you feel that there have been situations mostly when the umpires have gone with what the third umpire is showing, what the Snicko is showing, and rather than giving the benefit of doubt, this time something extraordinary has happened?
Because there was no Snicko, I guess, and it was just what third umpire thought, that the ball was deviating some other direction, and he gave in on his own guts. So that is what he umpire's argument or umpire's role is, what umpire thinks. But because I was in the stadium, I was not hearing any television commentary because I was in the crowd. So my first reaction was, if there was a lot of time taken by the ground umpire, then third umpire, then they took the lot of time to decide whether he was out or not out. And so, as cricket law says, that benefit of doubt should go to the batter, and it should have been gone to Yashasvi's way.
There's a lot of talk about the deflection. Even Irfan Pathan has tweeted saying that there was deflection, but nothing on this Snicko. The word deflection, what you are witnessing from the naked eye also. If you could help our viewers understand that better, what was the significance of it?
Well, when you talk about the third umpire, it is all about technology. So if you're using the technology, or if you're relying on the technology, then you have to take it fully. You should not use it in halfway, like there should be hotspot or there should be snow-meter, because when if you're seeing something on camera, that is all predictions, So if you're using the technology, that has to be foolproof. That's what I'm to say. He's out or not out, that is a different debate, because there are multiple occasions where the batsman is out and they also get not out. So that is totally umpire's call. But now, end of the day, what I say, now he has been out, so we need to respect the decision of umpire and move forward.
And onto the cricket part of it, of course, before I ask you about the performance, but did you speak to Yashasvi, because he was quite animated when he was talking to the umpires before going to the pavilion? Did you speak to him? What was he saying?
No. I think not now, because it's just game is finished, so not now. But I can understand his feeling. Somebody is playing on 80s and fighting hard for the country, because this match was very crucial. If there's only one way to draw the match, if Yashasvi could have been there and played another 30-40 runs. So I think he must be very disappointed along the other members of the Indian cricket team and also for the nation. But yes, I think it's a game. You need to take it forward. You need to move ahead and just look another game which is coming ahead in Sydney.
How proud of you are? Yashasvi, are you, sir? Because we've seen him growing. He has always been touted as the next big thing, and all throughout this series, when in such difficult situations, he has put up valiant efforts, and even with the banter that has been going on, he's also taking on the Aussies when it comes to the mind games, not just the cricket part of it.
Well, I'm very, very proud. I cannot tell you my feeling, because I saw him long back when he was just 12 years of age. I never look at him as my student. I always look at him as my kid. So whenever he plays, I feel like I'm playing over there, and that is more than anything else. And yes, I think the long way to go. He has seen a lot of difficulties in his life, and that's what he got his right attitude, because he's very mentally and physically tough. I always say to my students, if you want to achieve something extraordinary, there are 4 formulas: skill, will, fitness, and smartness. So he is doing all my tick box. He's having skill, he has having will, he's smart enough, and he's fit. So I think long way to go, and I'm very sure he will play for India for a long time.
Well, you just gave the mantra that you have shared with your prodigy. Thank you so much, Mr. Jwala Singh.